So I've done these in alphabetical order. Every one of these musicians was important to us, but I couldn't think of how I could do it properly. So the first one is Velma Björknes. Velma, with her rich and solo voice up here on the stage with Bill. We remember her smile. Linda, get back to the mic. We remember her smile. She welcomed everyone, and you almost felt in her presence that she understood who you were and all the troubles that you had, and she just soothed them with her smile. I'd like to invite her husband, Bill, to come up and light a candle, please. Bill and Velma are part of the musicians who actually perform in the hospice. We have a select group of musicians who we saw what they could do here and asked them if they would be part of the music program in the hospice, and they are paid for that so that they can buy screens. Our next musician is Rob Fowler. I spoke to his wife tonight, and she came down with something, and she said, I just cannot make it. But the plan was to have Donna here to light the candles. Rob actually died in our hospice, but 2 nights before he died, he asked if he could do a living wake. And we pumped him full of blood transfusions, doing what everyone needs to do for our patients when they ask for something. We pumped him full of blood transfusions, and he had his living wake and died 2 days later. He had 3 grown children, and he gave each of his guitars to those 3 children, and they are now in UBC in the music program. So that's his legacy. Light run for a lot. Maybe we won't do this. Artie, do you want to come and light this for us so I can keep going with that? I can do that. I want this one to keep burning. Okay, Rob, this one is for you. There we go. Let's see if I can do this. Sue Haberger. How many of you remember Sue when she used to come up here and with the crazy songs she sang? She was a raging green granny trying to save the land at Riverview. And her platform, every time she came in, we loved her. She just wrote the craziest, zaniest songs. And she's harmonized so beautifully with her mom and one sister. So at this time, I would like to invite Bill Marshall to come up. And because they both share the interest with the green environment and all that, I wanted Bill to light her candle. The next musician that we want to remember is Dan Hill. Now, Dan appeared at our coffee house almost from when we started it, a friend of David's, and he used to drive out from Vancouver. He gave much of his time to Hype for Hospice, the open stage here, many times. Whenever we needed a musician, Dan was here for us. Also, he bequeathed us in his will when he passed away, and we had enough money to buy 10 new mattresses and new dressers and update our hospice a little bit. So he was very, very generous with us. I would like to invite Tara Bonham to come up and light a candle. Our next musician is Roy Robinson. Roy was with us for a couple of years. He was a gardener by trade, a simple man who called himself the casual crooner. And whenever we needed music, he would bring out his little box and he would play. He played music to the tapes and sang the casual crooner. Don Kellett was a good friend of Roy's, and I would like to invite Don to light a candle, please. We tried to reach his family, but we've lost touch with them over the years, because that was 13 years ago that he played for us. Bob Rosen. Anybody remember Bob? Big Bob on our stage. He sang the wackiest songs as well. He was always sang songs for the Union, as well as when he went to music camp. Everybody wanted to be in his circle because he kept the songs going, and he was a big part of music camp that my husband and I attend almost annually. I wonder if Mark Kozina would come and light a candle.
Bob was a big fan of the Grateful Dead, a really genuine guy. At his service, they played Grateful Dead music. A really neat guy.
And last but not least, our own Bruce Foreman. Now, Bruce joined us. Mark and I used to be out here at Lee Square trying to get musicians to come on Saturday afternoon so that we could raise awareness of what the Crossroads Hospice was, even before we started the coffee house. And Bruce was always hanging out. We'd watch him, and finally Mark said to him one day, "Would you like to help us set up chairs?" And oh yeah, he was right in there. And then we pretty soon got him working at the back door. And in the time that the coffee house went, I know that Bruce missed 3 coffee houses in the entire 14 years that he was with us. Twice he went to Vegas with his dad, and when he won money twice, he gave a donation to Crossroads. Those were the 2 Fridays he missed, and the 3rd Friday was as he was failing. He couldn't make it one Friday night. He was very ill just before Christmas. So we really want to thank Bruce, and his dear friend Marcel would like to come up and light a candle. Now what I forgot to do, and I'm sorry Candace, there's always things to do when you're on stage. I made a copy of Candace's poem for the families that are left. So we put some little music notes and tied it up really nicely. It's on some cloud. Are you having trouble there? What I like to think is that when we say someone's name who has passed away, instead of saying your husband or your son or your daughter, say their names and watch the stars twinkle, and they're smiling down on us to say. So thank you everyone. If you came up, come and get your little brochure here, because I want to honor Candace and her song. And now Bill, would you, I'm finished.
Pardon?
Are you going to?
You're done?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're done?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's time to eat, drink, and be merry. We're going to take a little break. Are we not? And we'll be back about 9 o'clock.